Hello and welcome to JP Murray's Association Hustle Podcast. President of the Murray Company, JP's mission is to arm today's associations with insight and strategy to thrive in a progressively complex and competitive business landscape. 21st century associations must move forward with a little bit of hustle and revenue development at their core. Here's JP.
Hi, it's JP Murray. Welcome to the Hustle, man. How are you? I got to tell you a quick story. And I don't reveal a lot of things about the business, maybe from a personal note, but I got to tell you about a big screw up I made. So usually I record the podcast on Wednesday or Thursday, and it takes me about an hour and a half to log the content, to edit it down a little bit, and then post it. So I usually do that Wednesday, Thursday. I did it on Thursday this week. And last night when I was cleaning up all my files and trying to save space on my hard drive, I deleted the podcast. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming to you on a great Sunday morning from Alexandria, Virginia in Diane's office in the house. But I want to deliver you some fire today for how to sell more sponsorships in 2021. I know it's an uncertain time for these sponsorships because you're frankly not quite certain about the inventory that you're going to have. Will my meeting be in person? Will it be virtual? Not sure. But I don't want that to delay you from getting out of the gate. So far, many companies and industries have money to spend and they're ready to confirm and work with you. What they're saying to us is, when are you going to have the stuff ready for us? And I know that there may be a hesitancy because it's digital, virtual, maybe hybrid, not sure. But man, they want you to make some offers to them because they've got money and budget to spend. And I think the first mover is going to benefit from that. Don't wait for things to be perfect to keep you from moving forward. I'm on association websites a heck of a lot. And right now, a lot of you all, my friends, my former clients, have 2020 prospectuses that are still up. I mean, how long does it take before you need to get moving? Here are a few ideas to help you get started, but I want to present this from a very positive perspective. I'm really honed in on the key to get started because if you don't, I'm afraid that other people are going to get your sponsors from you, or they're going to move on and say, God, these guys don't have their, what together. So first, develop a simple digital or in-person meeting inventory for sponsorships and kind of do it side by side. 2 columns, if you will. And if you keep it fairly simple with similar price points, you can go from digital to in-person fairly quickly if you need to. And I think sponsors will understand that. And come on, there's not a substantial in-person meeting going to happen probably until the later half of this year. So what the hell are you waiting for? Number 2. Big emphasis on segmented audiences that you can reach through your association. That is not going to change, regardless of whether this is digital or in person or whatever format. You're still bringing the industry together, their customers, and possibly in larger numbers than before. So make sure that you're talking about that segmented audience. Number 3. Tell sponsors about the enhanced data and information that they're going to receive. I'll give you a quick example. Some associations will never send a list of attendees and contact information for an in-person event, but with a digital event, they're more than happy to do that. So yeah, that's kind of weird, but it's really helpful to the sponsor. Let them know. Number 4. While thought leadership sponsorship remains really strong, and I'm totally committed to it, as you know, be aware that smaller companies may not have all the resources to conduct a full session or optimize that opportunity. So they may need to surf off of someone else's stuff. Or maybe they're the panelist of a website, or maybe they're the panelist of a program rather than doing the entire webinar on their own. Number 5, extensively, and I mean in every nook and cranny, examine the non-event inventory you have. Newsletters. Oh, by the way, how about launching a new one about, say, the Biden administration's new regulatory initiatives or whatever they are? Online industry trend surveys that you could put out to update your members about what they think the industry is doing. Sponsors love that kind of stuff. Think about member onboarding webinars that you're doing and where you could visit a sponsor's webpage or send a package of member benefits to select renewals courtesy of a sponsor. There's so many opportunities out there. I love social media posts that are sponsored by someone that the association could do. So much opportunity there. Just got to think about what's available for us. What are we already doing that someone would be willing or want to support in some way and get good data and reach a segmented market because of it? Number 6, time to establish a year-round sponsorship program with special benefits, including those not tied to events. Maybe it's a briefing for the board of directors, or maybe it's a focus group or something like that. People are really participating in your programs and your groups, and they're very engaged. You got to leverage that for the 365 days a year sponsor. And by the way, then those sponsorships aren't quite as reliant upon in-person meetings to be fulfilled. I think this also requires a new approach in sales methodology. Why? Because you're not going to be able to call up the same old people and renew them for the chicken lunch sponsorship. Some of your traditional sponsors don't want to do digital events. That's all right, because what we're also finding is some companies that have never sponsored before want to sponsor digital events because they get the joke on all the data and information that they can receive from it, and they find that even more valuable than the intangible stuff of just being present at an event. So, first, you need to prospect and update your data list because there's been a lot of changes within companies. But in some cases, you've been hitting the same people over and over again with the same inventory and expect a different result. Well, you're going to get a different result because a lot of these folks have moved on and they don't want to sponsor some of this new inventory, which means you got to go out and get some new prospects. You got to develop your list. You got to develop more contacts within those companies so you can have a better chance of succeeding. My view is this may enable you to have a healthier program with more companies, more inventory in the future. I'm a big believer that you can make this happen. Hey, folks, I so much appreciate that you listen to this podcast. I'm willing to give you a little gift. No strings attached. Email me, jp@murraycompany.com. I'd love to send you a complimentary copy of my book, Association Hustle. Best wishes. I look forward to chatting with you next week. Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed this edition of J.P. Murray's Association Hustle Podcast. We'd love to connect with you. Check out our blogs at murraycompany.com and subscribe to our weekly newsletter. You can also connect with JP on LinkedIn and Twitter at JP Murray, as well as the Murray Company's Instagram and Facebook page. To purchase a copy of JP's book, Association Hustle, Top Strategies for Association Growth, go to jpmurray.com.